Let's face it, most movies today are unwatchable garbage. But fear not, I have a list, and I think you're going to like it. Be sure and check out my comic book series War Party, now in demand on Indiegogo. Alright, so the top 10 movies you've never heard of, but you should definitely see. Number 1, from 1915, D.W. Griffith's The Birth of a Nation. Now this is the 1915 silent movie, not the 2016 remake about Nat Turner Rebellion. This is a silent film. It's one of the first epic blockbusters ever made. It's a piece of film history. The reason this film is controversial is because it blends truth with fiction quite effectively. It's very truthful about the corruption that took place during the Reconstruction period after the Civil War, but of course its glorification of the KKK is not something that sits well with modern day audiences. My grandfather was an avid movie collector, and I was first introduced to this film in his VHS collection. Of course, today, when you're told that you should not watch a film or that a film should be banned, that's all the more reason to watch the film. D.W. Griffith was one of the greatest film directors in Hollywood history, so this is definitely one not to be missed. Number 2, from 1922, Häxan, Witchcraft Through the Ages. Now, I only discovered this film in the last, 10 or 15 years. It has some of the coolest depictions of demons and the makeup, and the director actually played the devil in this film. It's another silent film. It's a really spooky movie, actually. Just the depictions of witches worshiping the devil and sort of scenes of hell and dancing around the fires. And they've used clips from this film in documentaries and other films repeatedly throughout the years, and I never knew what the clips were from until I found out about the movie. Of course, this was made in the 1920s, long before the ratings board existed, so you have nudity, and it's pretty dark. A lot of films in the 20s were that way, like Nosferatu and The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. The Criterion Collection has released this on DVD, and you can get it on Amazon. Number 3, from 1957, we have Witness for the Prosecution, Billy Wilder film. Billy Wilder, of course, directed Some Like It Hot, and another movie I'll be talking about later in this set. It stars Tyrone Power, Marlene Dietrich, and Charles Laughton. 3 great actors. It's one of the best courtroom dramas you'll ever see. It really sets the standard for performances and suspense in the courtroom, and there's a nice twist at the end as well, so definitely check out Witness for the Prosecution. I would watch this film over and over again as a kid and show it to as many of my friends and family as I could get to sit down and watch it. Number 4, from 1960, we have The Apartment. Now this is another Billy Wilder film. Stars Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, and Fred MacMurray. Fred MacMurray played the father on My Three Sons. This was a movie I discovered most recently, and it's a very enjoyable film. It's all about a guy trying to move up in his company, and he's in love with this woman, and he starts allowing the higher-ups at the company to use his apartment as a secret meeting place for their lady friends. And the whole thing sort of blows up, gets out of control. It's kind of like a situational comedy, but it's just really well done. Billy Wilder's films are all excellent. Of course, Some Like It Hot, most of you know about that, I'm sure, with Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis, first movie in drag. But The Apartment is excellent. It's great performances by everybody, Shirley MacLaine especially. Number 5, from 1970, The Brotherhood of the Bell. Now, I discovered this movie on TV. It's actually a TV movie. It stars Glenn Ford, but it's actually a really interesting storyline. It's about this guy who's basically part of a secret society, sort of like the this is long before the internet was exposing things like Skull and Bones and the Bilderberg Group and the Bohemian Grove and all this Illuminati stuff. So this was when the Illuminati talk wasn't really very well known, and the whole film is about this man trying to basically come to terms with the fact that he's made a deal with the devil. Not the literal devil, but the devils that run the world. So if you like things involving conspiracy theories and stories about someone trying to get out of an organization or a bad situation, This is a nice little hidden gem. It's really an underrated film and not a lot of people know about it, so definitely check it out. Number 6, from 1973, we have Fantastic Planet. Now, this is a French animated film, the most unusual and bizarre animated movie I've ever seen. The Criterion Collection released a DVD or Blu-ray of the movie with some special features. It has a very unique style, and it's all about a planet where the human beings are actually pets. So you see the little child in the hand there. The aliens are these giants. But it's interesting because it's from both perspectives, from the perspectives of the aliens that keep these pets, these human pets, and from the perspective of the pets, or the humans, that are trying to break free and don't want to be sort of subservient to these giant aliens. Very interesting movie, very unusual movie, probably the most unique animated feature I've ever seen. Number 7, from 1980, we have Southern Comfort. This is a great survival movie, another Walter Hill film, by the way, another sort of forgotten movie that I discovered on TV, starring Powers Booth and Keith Carradine. If you like films like Deliverance or First Blood, this is kind of got the same vibe. A bunch of National Guard troopers are training out in a swamp in Louisiana, and they have some run-ins with the locals that don't go so well. So it's definitely one of those survival stories, which I've always been a fan of. And it's got a great soundtrack. It's well shot, well acted, well directed. Very, very suspenseful and entertaining. Check it out. Number 8, from 1982, we have The Plague Dogs. Now, Watership Down being one of my favorite animated films, I also wanted to check out the other Richard Adams movie, also directed by Martin Rosen, The Plague Dogs. Now, this is a very, very heavy movie to watch, especially if you're an animal lover. It's extremely realistic. It's very gory. It's not a lot of happy endings in this one, but once again, it's another survival story. Characters trying to survive a bad situation. The two lead dogs are very sympathetic. Great voices. John Hurt does the voice of one of the dogs. The animation is very naturalistic. It's got some amazing panoramas and backgrounds. Excellent movie. Would not show it to young kids or anyone that can't stand seeing animals in peril. All right, number 9, we have from 1985, Brazil, from the always great and somewhat eccentric filmmaker Terry Gilliam. Now, you might be saying, oh yeah, I've heard of Brazil. I remember that poster. The title and the poster are very misleading. This is actually a movie about a dystopian future, or, some might say the world we're heading towards right now. I don't know if it's that far in the future. It's all about an authoritarian regime that pretty much controls every aspect of everybody's life, and this man keeps having these dreams about being free and being able to fly. It's got a lot of humor. It's very clever. It's Terry Gilliam's best film. Probably next, Time Bandits would be a close second, but this is probably his best film. It's also been released by the Criterion Collection. It's funny how a lot of these films are Criterion films. I must be on the right track here. They only pick the best. But check out Brazil. It's a one-of-a-kind movie and definitely worth a watch. And at number 10, we have from 2016, fairly recent, The Young Messiah. Now, this is based on Christ the Lord, a book by Anne Rice, the same author of Interview with a Vampire. This is probably one of the best depictions of Jesus I've ever seen in a movie, and it's a little child. It's a kid actor playing Jesus as a boy, and his on-screen presence and just the way he downplays it, but at the same time seems to have this charisma and this presence is pretty impressive. And not to mention, Sean Bean plays a Roman soldier who's hunting him, basically the one that got away that Herod wasn't able to kill, and he's hunting him throughout the movie, and Sean Bean, of course, as always, is amazing. So check out The Young Messiah. It's a really, really powerful movie, and I really enjoyed it. So that's my list of 10 movies that you've probably never heard of, but that you definitely should see. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to check out War Party on Indiegogo. Talk to you later.
Everything changed when war reached the Americas. Caught between the French and the British, my family paid the price. Only my darling Sarah survived. took her away. We couldn't save them, but we will save her. 5 men against thousands, how can it be done? But we are not merely men. War has brought out the beast in us all. And we will have our vengeance, for we are
The War Party.